on Skype. Good evening to you. This is not the first time, as I say, that you've made the claim that Winnie Madikizela-Mandela was one of the people that were behind exposing the original allegations.
Yes, I mentioned it during the Seriti Commission under pressure from Judge Seriti, and I was vindicated that very afternoon when Mrs. Mandela the matter to Patricia de Lille.
How exactly did she become involved?
Well, I was representing the Anglican Church during the Defence Review in Parliament, and she was a member of the Defence Committee. So we met a couple of times on that occasion. And then as the controversies around the arms deal escalated, some of her assistants approached me to say that I was talking about corruption around the arms deal, but they would tell me the core of it around Joe Modise and the leadership of Mkhonto we Sizwe. It was on a scale far, far greater than I was talking about. So I briefed Archbishop Ndungane. He called for a commission of inquiry. That was brushed off. So I introduced the intelligence operatives to Patricia de Lille. The next step was the memorandum to Patricia de Lille MP from concerned ANC MPs.
So when you talk about, for example, these operatives, these ANC operatives who supplied this information, how intimately involved was Winnie Madikizela-Mandela with that process?
She had assistants who were in connection with them and who I met on several occasions.
So was that pretty much how the so-called de Lille dossier came about?
Yes. And as I say, it was a memo to her from concerned ANC MPs.
Did you ever discuss the allegations directly with Winnie Madikizela-Mandela?
Not at that point. I'd met her earlier when she was concerned about the implications of poverty resulting from the arms deal.
So in other words, her initial suspicions were around concerns with social development. Why are we spending money on arms when we've got other concerns to deal with, not specifically because she knew of any corruption?
Specifically in my discussions with her, it was on poverty, which was also the stance of the Anglican Church, to say there was no foreign threat to the country, the threat was poverty.
Now, as you said earlier, it took Judge Seriti to press you for her name during the commissions. We also know, of course, subsequently, Patricia de Lille at the time denied receiving that dossier from Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. Where did that matter end up?
Well, I learned of Winnie Madikizela-Mandela's involvement independently of Patricia de Lille. But Patricia de Lille and I agreed, given the uproar after the release of that document, that we would not reveal the identities of the ANC whistleblowers.
Had Winnie Madikizela-Mandela requested specifically at the time that her involvement in this remain secret?
Not to me, no.
So there was no question of her not wanting to be associated with the original revelations?
I had no further contact with her at that point.
All right, it was just an interesting way to, I suppose, wrap up one final piece of that puzzle. Of course, we know last week, Friday, former President Jacob Zuma was in the dock facing charges that stemmed from that very expose. Whistleblower Terry Crawford Brown very much linking the stalwart Winnie Madikizela-Mandela to those revelations.